This is not going to be an XUC reaction video, nor is it going to be a CSGO video. Just hear me out for the next 30 seconds or so. I got some context I want to give you in order to kind of bridge all the storylines together and get my point across. So I found this clip yesterday in my recommended, and it's XUC reacting to NIP versus FaZe. It's Brokey 1v3ing FaZe. It's an amazing clip. Let's take a look at the highlight itself. Even if you don't play CSGO, you can appreciate what is about to happen. It's an amazing feat of dexterity, game knowledge, positioning, everything. It's perfect Counter-Strike being played. You'll see NIP kind of flooding back out of Banana. That's that section they're in over there. Brokey's going to grab bomb, sit bench, and wait for them to challenge one by one. He's isolating all the angles. He does everything correctly, and it's an amazing play. And you and I can appreciate that as people who have either played the game or just watched the game. But it's what he said after he saw that clip that I think rings true for not only myself, but a lot of people out there.
This is the type of clip that you watch, and I think that instead of motivating you to play more games, it motivates you to quit the game and play another one. That's easier.
Now, as for why you're seeing Tekken 7 on the screen, I feel like this game is, for me, is the epitome of what XTC was saying in that clip. Watching clips and highlights of Brian and Nina, my two favorite characters in that game, and the two that I do play if I ever happen to sit down at a setup or something, can be highly demotivating because of how technical the things that you have to do in order to win or just play the character decently are. My favorite players to watch are Victim of Ritual, is a Nina player, and then Nina Assassin is also a Nina player, Korean player, and Jimmy J Tran is probably my all-time favorite, who is of course a Brian player if you don't know. But watching Jimmy J Tran do, not even taunt jet upper, if you don't know what taunt jet upper is, there's a 37-minute video that Eris put out of him trying to do it a single time. It is the hardest thing I've ever attempted execution-wise in a fighting game, and it's only one move. It's not a combo, it's one move. You have to do taunt and then jet upper on like the same exact frame. It's a just frame input. It's very hard. And that's just one part of Brian. He has that taunt move that he can use for Oki, but he has multiple follow-ups from that. Jet upper just happens to be the hardest one. There's another one that's supposed to be a little bit easier against the wall, and that's taunt back 4. I couldn't even do that. So imagine me. I can barely move my fucking character. I cannot Korean back. I've learned the game in reverse at this point because of all the cool shit that I've seen in these highlight videos. I can barely Korean backdash. I know how to do it to an extent. Imagine me trying to attempt to do anything that Jimmy J Tran is doing, and I just can't. And it's not frustrating, but it's just you just realize how much work you need to put in order to be decent, let alone competitive, right? And so effectively, in order to stop scrubbing people out and playing Brian by just doing 3+4 to keep them out and then like walking up and doing down forward 1 and just jabbing him in the fucking sternum, I felt like I wanted to learn the game a little bit more on a character that was easier, and I just didn't vibe with any of the characters that were easier. I just wanted to play Brian or Nina. When it came to Nina though, it felt like it was a lot easier to scrub people out with that character because I would just run up. I think that's about the time I learned about one jab actually. That's probably why. I would just walk into my friends' faces. I played some people who didn't quite play fighting games, and I would just walk up and press one jab, one jab, one jab, because it was +1. And that's what I would do. I would just scrub people out and then do some strings. But I was so ignorant of what I was doing. I didn't really even know that I was scrubbing people out. I didn't know what that term was. I didn't even know. It wasn't my vocabulary. I was just doing what I had to do to win. And when I took her online, it was like, oh, this is not going to work anymore. People know how to deal with some of this stuff. So it led me to go to YouTube and watch videos and do all that and realize that it's a whole nother game out there. There's a whole nother game that I am not playing. I think that's why Tekken has a bigger player base too, because it's pretty easy to just get on that game and mash buttons with your friends and have a good time. Things just happen on the screen. But the moment that you realize there's a whole nother side of the game you don't know and you actually want to, play it semi-seriously, play with other people online, you start doing a little bit of research, you realize that it's just a lot of work. it's a lot of work, and you go back to whatever you were playing before, whatever FPS or MOBA, League of Legends, Valorant, CSGO, you go back to whatever team game you were playing. You can blame your teammates, you can blame your friends, or I guess have teammates to help you. I'm kind of jaded when it comes to playing Counter-Strike in League of Legends, right? You yearn for that comfort again. So I think that's why people leave fighting games when it comes to leveling up from beginner/scrub up to like an intermediate stage. Because I can watch hours and hours of Brian combos, but as soon as I get on the game and I realize, oh, that's a just rim input and I can't do that, it starts to set in that maybe I don't want to learn them that badly. Maybe I don't want to spend all this time doing this. I'm gonna go back to Street Fighter. I'm gonna go back to the tried and true. But yeah, of course highlight videos are cool and I watch them. I watch them for all kinds of different fighting games. but it just sometimes makes you question your ability a little bit too much. It makes you doubt yourself just a little bit, and sometimes a lot of it makes people quit games. I think fighting games as a whole suffer from that as far as trying to get casuals into the genre. They see all these cool videos and cool combos and conversions and tournament play with the people on big stages, but as soon as they get on the game and they realize that they have to do a quarter circle, they got to do a little dragon punch input, they're out, you know? That's what things like modern controls and stylish mode try to do. It's trying to bridge that gap between having to learn the game plus how to do these inputs to just learning the game, and then eventually you can switch to the other input method. I think that's what they're trying to do in Street Fighter 6 at least. I'm not sure about stylish mode and all that in Guilty Gear. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and if you enjoyed, please consider subscribing. I'll talk to you again soon.